So you want to learn programming and to avoid the most dangerous traps. Tip number 1, stick at first to one language. I know there are lots of languages tempting. There is JavaScript, there is Python, there is PHP, there is C# and Rust. There are so many languages. But at first, as you want to become a programmer, it's a kind of logic that you have to assimilate. So stick at first to one language till you feel comfortable. So if it's JavaScript, I guess it is because you're on this channel, stick to JavaScript at first. But if it's Python or C# or whatever, stick to one language at first, simply to avoid to burn out. For the same reason, stick at first to one lib or framework. So if you need to learn React or Vue, at first stick to just one library, one framework. It's simply because at first with one framework you will learn things that you will be able to use in many other frameworks or libraries. Things like what is a component, how to make them communicate, what is a service, etc., etc. And then when you're good in one library or framework, you will be able to transfer this knowledge to another framework. But if you start learning different ways of doing specific things, you will feel overwhelmed and burn out again, because really burning out is something that really happens to almost everyone when you learn programming. So this is the trap you need to avoid. So at first stick to one framework and you will see then it's easy to learn another one. One of the most important trick, multiply the duration of a tutorial or a course by 3. What do I mean? If you want to learn, for example, React, and you found a tutorial that will teach you React in 2 hours, that really means that you will have to devote 6 hours, so 2 per 3, 6 hours to this tutorial. Else, what will happen? You will be stressed. Every time you will have a problem, you will feel pressure because you know that you have only 2 hours to devote to this course or tutorial or video. And it's extremely bad. It's the worst way to learn because your main aim, your main focus will be to finish the video, not to assimilate it. But if you decide that you multiply the duration of a video by 3, for example, if you have a 1 hour tutorial and you decide that you will devote 3 hours to this tutorial, then when you will have problems, you won't hesitate to go back and watch the 5 previous minutes another time, because you know that you decided to devote 3 hours. It's an extremely powerful tip, and it's really what released a lot of stress on me when I decide to learn a new language or lib or framework. It's the best way to learn, else you would simply watch passively and as fast as possible. And it's not the goal. The goal is to learn, sleep enough. The steroid of your brain is not a specific drink like Red Bull or any kind of energy drink. It's really sleep. I can tell you that it changed my life. I now know 4 libs and frameworks, and I was able to learn them simply because I decided to sleep something around 2 hours more than I used to. So I used to sleep only 6 hours a night. It's not enough for me. It's like that. Some people just can sleep only 4 hours. But if you feel that you need to sleep more, do it. It's much better to sleep 1 or 2 hours more and then to be really sharp and to understand than sleeping less and then feel overwhelmed by every new thing you try to assimilate. For the same reason, try to eat healthy food. Your brain is the vehicle that will allow you to become a programmer. So the destination is becoming a programmer. Let's say the first leg of your trip is becoming a programmer. Then you will want to become more advanced, etc. But at first you want to become a programmer. And the vehicle that will allow you to do that is your brain. And your brain needs good food with lots of nutrients that it needs. So eating things like avocados, like greens, eat your greens, basically. So if you can eat vegetables, if you can eat fish, all the things, simply search the internet, you will find what food is good for your brain. Tip number 6, take regular breaks. Personally, I use the Pomodoro technique. So every 45 minutes I stop. I simply go for, I wouldn't say walk, but I simply go downstairs. I live in a 2 levels apartment, a duplex, and I simply go to the kitchen and to prepare tea. And also when you feel stuck, it's good sometimes especially in the evening, to stop trying to fix the problem and to go back to it the day after. That's what happened to me today. I was stuck yesterday and I went back to the problem this morning and I solved it. I don't know why, I don't know how it works, but it's a fact. When you start with a fresh mind and new perspective, you get out of the tunneling effect. So I talked about it in the previous video. Tip number 7, stop comparing yourself to the guy who started programming at the age of 5 if you are 20, 30 or 40. Stop comparing yourself to a guy who's got more time, more money, more... There is always somebody who will have more resources than you. It doesn't matter. What matters is you, your goal. It's about you, and you want to become a better version of yourself, not to compete with someone else, because it's not a competition. There are enough jobs in IT for almost everybody. And when this crisis, this pandemic will stop, there will be more jobs. So focus only on yourself. Tip number 8, be consistent. It's much more efficient to study, let's say, 1 hour a day than studying just 1 time a week during 7 hours, because it's like learning a new language. The repetition and the rest between these sessions, that is really much more efficient than simply studying just 1 time all the day long during a day, once in a week. So try to study 6 times a week, and the 7th day just relax. There is no final destination. There is always room for improvement. You can always become better. That's why it's vital, it's critical to celebrate. Let's say that you want to learn how to create your first CRUD application. That means you will have to learn to create, read, update and delete data with your app. The first time you succeed in doing a simple CRUD, you have to celebrate. The first time you manage to create the first clone of a famous app, let's say you create a clone, a simplified clone of course, of Twitter or Facebook or whatever, celebrate. The first time you create your first TMS, celebrate. So you see, you have to celebrate. So as you guessed it, I'm French, so I celebrate by buying a better bottle of wine than the wine I drink usually in the evening. So find the kind of treat that you appreciate, and it may be a specific brand of chocolate that is more expensive than the one you eat on a daily basis. It can be a video game that you want to buy. I see what I mean. So find something to celebrate. It can be food, it can be drink, it can be whatever. But celebrate on a regular basis, because there is no destination, and so you could easily feel overwhelmed and burned out, because the more you progress, the more the ultimate goal will be further away. It's absolutely normal. So celebrate on a regular basis. Tip number 10, rest assured that you will make it eventually. Personally, I don't think that there are achievements without doubt or without feeling sometimes low or depressed. It's absolutely normal. There will be some periods during which you will hate programming. It's normal. Or you will maybe sometimes think that you will never understand a specific concept. So things like, for example, object-oriented programming took me many tries before understanding it, and then one day it clicked. So some things need more time to get understood and integrated. It's absolutely normal. So believe in yourself, and remember that learning programming is a journey, and some days you will feel just really motivated and energetic, and other days you will be just so. It's absolutely normal. Don't give up. It's the only thing that you should not do. Never ever give up. You're allowed some days to feel bad or to feel irritated, but never give up. If you liked, please smash the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you soon.